Hello, my name's Lele. I recently graduated from college and currently work for a real estate company. I have a close friend whose name is Dana, who used to be a colleague, albeit as a receptionist. But she left the company a few months ago, and I haven't seen her much ever since. Dana has changed jobs quite often throughout her career. It seems she can't stick to the same job or company for very long. In fact, her record is of 3 months. And her latest venture was to become a full-time food YouTuber. Now, competition is extremely fierce in that field, and it certainly requires hard work, dedication, and stamina. After all, anyone can record food videos and upload them on YouTube. But in order to go viral quickly and be truly buzzworthy, one must offer videos featuring compelling and unique content. Fully aware of the likes and wants of the online community, Dana decided on a highly daring strategy to attract the attention of viewers. Quite a few detractors deemed Dana's channel to be too disturbing and revolting, but she insisted on eating what are considered to be horrific foods. These included snakes, giant centipedes, live eels, pig brains, fertilized duck eggs, various insects, and any unorthodox suggestion made by the audience in the comment threads. Dana's videos immediately attracted hundreds of thousands of viewers, while subscriptions to her channel skyrocketed. Dana became famous almost overnight. People everywhere presented her as the latest YouTube phenomenon, and quite a few television channels even featured her in their headlines. Fully committed to her new job and passion, Dana entirely separated herself from the outside world, including her friends and family. As such, I didn't see her very often anymore. All I can remember is the last time we met. She looked really distraught and drained. This had me worried. So after that last encounter, I suggested quite a few times that we go out for dinner. But each time, she turned me down or canceled at the last minute. In the end, the only way I could see Dana was on the live stream. One day, as usual, my phone received the notification for her latest video. After clicking on the link, I saw my friend showing and playing with live octopuses. They were resting on a plate next to a cup of hot mustard, so I figured that Dana might eat these sea creatures alive. After sitting methodically in front of the camera, Dana greeted her audience as usual and proceeded to start her meal. She looked even worse than when I'd seen her the previous month, but after all, I was probably the only one who cared. Everybody else was enjoying the show and excited about the extreme upcoming meal. Dana didn't even cut the poor creature she picked. She just picked it up, put it in her mouth, wide open, as if to say, "Ready and welcome to the whole octopus." Boy, was it alive and kicking. Its tentacles started sticking out from her mouth and clung tightly to her pale face. I couldn't help but wonder how Dana would remove them all in order to swallow the animal whole all at once. Everybody knows the dangers of the tentacles getting stuck in the nasopharynx, and anyone in that situation would look and feel extremely terrified. But after eating the second octopus, Dana's expression started changing. Something was wrong, and it looked like she was choking. She tried swallowing really hard, shook her head, turned her neck, but it was obvious that the situation was becoming more and more critical. At some point, she gripped her own neck tightly with her 2 hands and fell to the ground. Comments from the thread confirmed that certain viewers had also realized that she was choking, and many of them expressed their care and concern, but there were still quite a few trolls and evil comments. Fearing the worst, I contacted Dana's relatives, called an ambulance, and immediately rushed to my best friend's house. I knocked on her door like a mad woman. I ran to the living room where she shot her videos and found Dana slumped over on her chair unconscious while the camera was still filming the horrific scene. And there were still hundreds of thousands of viewers who didn't lift a finger while she was choking. Some were simply too shocked and horrified to react, but others would still make idiotic comments or even say that she was paying the price for selling her soul and her palate for easy money. Karma, in other words. Even more horrifying was the scene that the medical staff and I faced when we broke into the house. The living room was filled with rubbish and bugs, food boxes, and containers scattered on the floor and on the counter surfaces. It seems that she simply never threw anything away, and the stench came from the massive quantities of rotting matters. Everywhere you looked, you would see spoiled milk and eggs, moldy baked goods, and fermenting unknown foods. Cockroaches, flies, maggots, mice, ants, you name it. All these creatures were fully at home and thriving in this otherwise nightmarish playground. Basically, Dana merely cleaned up a tiny little area for her video shoots. The ER team immediately took Dana under their care, but unfortunately it was too late. She had suffered from severe respiratory failure and was now in a persistent vegetative state. Her family hasn't pulled the plug on her yet, and I pray every day that she gets better, but I fear that she'll never recover from this dreadful episode. This YouTube thing seemed easy at first, but it put too much pressure on this young woman. Always afraid of the public opinion, and imposing revolting meals on herself on a daily basis, she was constantly criticized. And she had totally alienated her family, and she really had no one. In the end, she can only blame herself. But how sad and pathetic it is. Oh well, food for thought, I guess. And I think her last meal sucked.